Welcoming everyone on the Holistic Wellness class. So this is one of our monthly, so on Wednesdays I've just started a different class every week. So some of you I know booked in last week where we've got Life in the Calm Lane, where we look at the oils more on an emotional level. This week we're just going back to basics and really looking at the oils. The first stage of healing, which is really getting into the physical aspects and how the oils can just be used in a really, really practical way. Some of these oils you might have seen can be used on the emotional level, but we have to always go back to the physical and get ourselves out of living out of crisis mode. So what I found after 5 years of using the oils, for someone who used to have chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, I used to always, my body used to always tell me in the way I got sick, I'd probably get definitely an annual cold or flu. In 5 years, I just don't get that. I've gone through another winter. I haven't got sick. I haven't had chronic fatigue for 5 years. But in the beginning, when I started using the oils, I was really using them for the physical aspects. And now as I start to get the symptoms, I'm really able to just fast track. But we're going to just go through some of the natural first aid, some really practical tips on how to use the oils you've already got. So I'm just going to get straight into it. So if you just come on, you're going to stop seeing me in a second, and we'll go into the PowerPoint, and then we'll come on at the end and go through any questions. So I'm going to start that. Feel very clever. Hopefully you can see what I can see. Darren, I might just get you off mute for a second just to make sure that everyone can see your beautiful presentation. Can you just give me a yay that you can see it all?
Yes, yeah, it's all coming through fine, Claire.
Fantastic. So we've done a bit of a take on holistic wellness because we really, for me, when we start to look at our own whole self, we start to be able to really look beyond ourselves. And as you see with doTERRA, it's really, for me, my own health and using doTERRA, I'm looking at the whole and the way it affects ourselves, the way it affects the planet, and how doTERRA just plays a part in the healing for ourselves and the wider world. So let's get into it. So for those who are really new to the oils, let's have a look at basically, why we use them. Look, for me, it's just kind of going back to what we already knew. There's only a very small time in our history where we haven't gone to nature for our solutions. It's only, when you think of the pharmaceutical industry, it hasn't been around for a long time, really only the last 100 years. So we're just going back to ancient knowledge. And they've been used for centuries to support the body in healing. They are the doTERRA oils are 100% natural, and they're just pure extracts from plants. So what I love about them is that they come from so many different aspects of the plants, whether they're from the cumin seeds, from cinnamon bark, it can be from the leaves and branches of like lavender bushes or peppermint, to things like resin from frankincense. So we did have what we call the botanical sense, and where we were able to really detect what a plant was there for and how we would use it, whether it would be a topical or ingestion. So we're just getting back to that wisdom, really. So they are more powerful than herbs. And I love herbs, but if I'm going to get a burn on my skin, I'm not going to go and put, lavender straight from the garden on it. I will be putting the essential oil that's going to have an immediate effect. One drop goes a long way, so I'm sure you've probably heard about the peppermint being equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea. So it's very highly concentrated and very affordable. And there is like a drop, price per drop chart that we can post again on Life Essentials if you're interested, but it can start as low as 4 cents a drop, and in the 15 ml bottles there's 250 drops. So what I love with the oils, they are nature's defense mechanism for plants, and they do complement our own body, and it's like being the lifeblood of the plant. They match our own way of processing and defending ourselves against outward threats as well. one of the things I probably am most passionate about is like really getting to the roots of the issue, and rather than to treat the problem. I've come through seeing a woman recently who's just had a baby, and I was horrified to see that, in the first 7 weeks of life, the child had been given antibiotics, Panadol, had been taken off breastfeeding, and not one, and the doctor didn't even think to even add probiotics. It was just, these are just, and the problems just got worse. So with a few natural solutions, including the oils, but things like probiotics, and getting the child off dairy, within days, this child had more, I think, joy and less pain, and felt in its whole lifetime. So basically, the oils are safe, effective, affordable, and an alternative. So we love the fact that this is all about hopefully bridging the gap between, what we know as, the medical system we have at the moment. I think we'll see big changes over the next number of years in it being more complementary, and it won't be such a, either either. There's no side effects, and safe for the whole family. Of course, with babies, you are very mindful of dilution. So essential oils, I think I've kind of covered a lot of this. You can see just some of the ones I've mentioned, with the rind. All the citrus are from the rind. We have a clary sage plant, and then you can see it under the microscope. So with the citrus, they're cold pressed, and nearly most other things are steam distilled. And as mentioned, they're from all the different aspects of the plant. So this is probably one of the most passionate things. I studied aromatherapy in my 20s and kind of got out of it in my 30s because I lost a lot of respect for the marketing of essential oils, and I have a real nose for synthetics, so I wasn't loving what I was smelling, but they were saying they were 100% pure. So as you can see, with that little pie chart down the bottom, you can see that the bulk of the oils on the market are synthetic. So they can actually say that they're a 100% oil, have a decent and maybe 3 to 5% of purity, and the rest of it can be synthetic. And in other cases, they've been found with pesticides and weeds. There are food grade oils which are a slightly better quality, but again, they're very poor quality as far as therapeutic benefits. And then you had ones which were called therapeutic oils, and they were ones that you would see as were applied in massage, in therapeutics, topical situations, but were not for ingestion. When doTERRA came along, they really wanted to create their own certification, which was CPTG, because they were in a class of their own. These oils, the purity is, there's nothing like them. In 10 years, they've never been found with a synthetic, which is a pretty incredible thing. And when I started investigating doTERRA, other companies were at the very most doing 2 testings. At the time, they were doing 3, and now they're doing 11 independent testings. And the level of work that they're doing in the medical establishment now, it really just shows the science and research behind this oil. So feel very comfortable in using them in your own home. If they can be used in hospitals, which takes years and years to get through, using them for yourself is just a complete green light. The cell picture is basically showing that with these oils, just to give you an example of that baby that had antibiotics, if there is any viral action going on, the antibiotics can only go around the cell. It can only clean up the bacteria. And of course, it's cleaning up all the good flora as well, which is, causing a very, very poor gut. So when you use oils like doTERRA, and I'm going to use an example like oregano, which is what I see as, one of the major wellness oils, you can actually go and really do some deep cellular work there. So, and that, that's just one of the most stunning aspects, and come out with a more buoyant immune system. This little world chart is It just shows you how many places where the oils are, plants and trees are grown in the world. Probably one of the most stunning aspects of doTERRA is their co-impact sourcing and the level of integrity and ethics they do in growing the oils, well, the plants in their native origin, but creating really, really sustainable work practices in every country. They don't just buy up farms. It's all about long-term sustainable impact. And in very poor countries where there's about 22 third world countries, they've established a Healing Hands Foundation where they have built so many schools, hospitals, water tanks, whatever's required. They do what's needed for sustainable living. Just so you know, in Australia, the tea tree and eucalyptus is grown in Australia. So this beautiful little girl on the left, Asha, she's just doing a great example of aromatically. You can, if you've got one now, it's such a great idea just to pick up a bottle, and I would go with something that's a little bit enlivening over the next hour, and just take a smell from the bottle. You can, of course, use the diffuser, and that's fantastic. You've also got topical. I love using on the soles of my feet. Just before I started, I used one of the mood management oils, Balance, and that's so grounding. And, I put that on the soles of my feet and it just goes into the bloodstream and it just feels fantastic. And of course, internally, and this is where I do just very specifically say for doTERRA internally, and very mindful about how we use it. But it always says it on the bottle. So this is a really great point. This is all about creating a lifestyle. And in 5 years, every month I do an order that is purely for my family. And I don't have a big family. I just have a teenage daughter. And we still just use all of this that you can see on the screen. We use, as well as, there's such an amazing skincare range. We'll go through supplements, and I just keep running out of oils. So for me to look at my daughter, who after 5 years was saying, I haven't had any sick days. She asked for a wellness day off last week, which I gladly give her. I always give her a wellness day off because I know that's just a sign that she needs rest. But she actually doesn't fall in the deep end, which is just awesome. So let's go through some of the main oils. I just think these are the oils that you love to carry on you. It's great to get one of those emergency key rings and put, 20 drops in that. If you don't know what that is, I can show you after. But this is like these 3 oils, you can use 101 different ways. So peppermint is a wonderful oil. It's a cooling oil. So it's a really simple, if you think of anything that requires cooling, then use this. So in summer, I create a spray that I love for when it's really hot, that I put peppermint and frankincense and wild orange in. In winter, I use it on the soles of my feet if I feel any head tension, just to draw the heat, or even around my head. I don't put it near my eyes. Even when you put it on the temples, your temple is actually in your hairline, not right next to your eyes. And I'll also, if I have any fevers, I find that can be really helpful too. Probably the biggest thing that I use peppermint for is it wakes me up. It just is my mid-afternoon, and I say I used it before I came on tonight. It's my way of just real waking up, and I call it the brain massage. I put 1 drop of peppermint and 1 drop of frankincense on my palms, and just about 3 inches away from my face, I take a really deep inhalations and then rub the rest on the back of my neck, and it's awesome. Love it. The lavender, it contains linalool, which is providing a soothing aroma. It is so calming. I think I've done every testimonial between me and my daughter in regard to, I've had paper wasps about 3 months ago. I got maybe about 11 bites on me, and within 5 minutes of using lavender, the swelling had gone down. You could just see the dots. The pain had gone down about 80%. It was really extraordinary, and I hadn't had I'd never been bitten with such pain and so many times. Really good for bites. Also really great for burns. And my daughter's burnt herself 3 times with boiling hot water. And we've applied it straight just because we were in emergency. And she went to bed 3 hours later with no blistering, and it was just incredible just to see how it can be used in a crisis. Mainly my day-to-day, it's just a calming one, as mentioned there. Add a few drops to pillows, bedding, or bottoms of feet. Really lovely thing to throw in your rinse with your sheets, or you might want to, I don't have a dryer, but if you have a dryer, you can put it in that as well. Probably one of my most used oils is lemon. It is just so versatile. I do start the day, I probably add about 3 drops, but I've got a really big cup and I make a warm tea out of it. It is such an incredible cleanser for the body. As I mentioned with the citrus, it's made from the rind of the fruit, so extremely alkaline. And this is what we're always trying to do with our body, with all the stresses we've got. And we probably went through that a bit more last week, but we're always trying to combat our lifestyle choices. Just the fact can be going so fast in every day, and we might be eating food that's not particularly agreeable or having coffee, alcohol. The citrus oils are all about bringing our body back into alkalinity. So I recommend about 15 drops a day, whether it be lemon, add grapefruit, lime, wild orange, or the Smart and Sassy. Great for green cleaning. I always have a bottle in my kitchen. And I've actually got one with peppermint and lemon in it, or I've got one with On Guard, which we'll go through later. But fantastic for all stainless steel, even like if you're trying to just take things off sticky labels off bottles, that with a bit of the fractionated coconut oil works a charm. But as I say, 101 ways to use that oil, so I've just covered a few. Tea tree, as I mentioned, grown in Australia. You can add a drop to shampoo, which is fantastic. It can be used, I've actually used it for immune support as well, but it's renowned for its cleansing qualities and to revitalise the appearance of skin. My daughter's got amazing skin, and if there's any breakout, she'll just put that straight on her skin, and it's just incredible how it'll clear any infections. You can use on fingernails and toenails, and yeah, really great for cleaning as well. So that's just one really very versatile topical one. I have used it internally, and people for things like UTI, urinary tract infection, there's certain things that can be taken in a capsule for, added with other oils. One of my faves, Frankie, this one can be taken 3 different ways. So you can diffuse it with your favorite oils. You can take it internally. People have recommended, Dr. Hill's recommended, that you could take 2 drops under the tongue for cellular health and well-being. It's in one of the Lifelong Vitality. It's an oil that's in the omegas. Fantastic for skincare. I now use it. I actually have it in the roll-on, and I roll it on after I've done a toner before, and it's with the serum. And I just love the feeling of it because it's made from the resin. It's got that real silky one. So that's all the kind of more, I don't want to say shallow. They're all really important self-care rituals. But frankincense is probably the most studied oil on the planet. So there's so many things that it's been working on in regard to preventative well-being. So I'm not going to say the C word, but there's a lot of work around autoimmune disease, anything from cognitive health, because it's got the sesquiterpenes in that goes beyond the blood-brain barrier. A lot of cognitive issues from, ADHD, Alzheimer's, seizures. People are using that as part of their daily protocol. The fractionated coconut oil, of course, it's not an essential oil, but it is really, for me, it's only like an extra $16 to add to your order, and I just recommend that everyone adds it to their kit if it's not already in their one, like it's in the Nature Solution, because it will make all your oils work better. It's a great facilitator to get the oils into the bloodstream. You can apply topically to hydrate the skin without interfering, of course, with perfumes. I do aroma touch, and I find using this oil, I've tried so many different oils over the years as a massage therapist, and the fractionated coconut oil is incredible. I can do a treatment and people can, I don't have to put even a towel over them. They could just, especially in the warmer months, they could just get up and put their clothes straight on, and there's no oiliness or residue, and it doesn't stain the clothes, so which is fantastic. Of course, we all use this in all our roller blends. So if you're making like a little roller blend for, I did one for the baby the other day. Of course, I just put like 1 drop of Digescent for this little baby to 10 mils of the fractionated coconut oil. Always good. I mentioned oregano before. That is an oil to say we always dilute, because it is such a hot oil. So it's always one that I will either have ready in a roll-on or have my fractionated coconut oil. If you have any issues with oils and applying topically, apply them to the feet, because that's also much hardier for us, not so sensitive. The respiratory blend is the Easy Air, known in the States as Breathe. This is an incredible one that you can diffuse or put on topically. For those Aussies of us, or I think I'd imagine it's a global brand, but Vicks, if you haven't got the oils, that you'll relate to that smell. It's a really, this has been an oil that has helped so many people with regular issues around the respiratory system. So you can apply topically, as I said, to the chest, but also to the back and feet. I've sent this oil to places in the world where they haven't got doTERRA yet, because this is the only thing that will help their child. And it's an incredible oil emotionally as well, but we will go through that another time. The other one that is probably been used a lot these last few months, I'm sure by us who've already got the oils, is On Guard. Now, this is an incredible oil that's got clove and wild orange and thyme. There's a whole group, collection of different oils in this, but mainly clove is one of the major antioxidants. It is, for me, again, this can be used 3 different ways, like frankincense. Wonderful to have diffusing, because it can eliminate airborne pathogens. So really great to keep us all buoyant and well. If you're already on, the ice is cracking beneath your feet, I would actually, besides diffusing it, I would think, if you're an adult, taking it internally, just 2 or 3 drops in water in a capsule. They are available from the States in soft gels that you can get them, but we have to do them ourselves in getting some empty veggie caps. And I will take them internally when I'm feeling like I feel like I'm getting the first symptoms. If I do that a few times before bed, maybe every 1 to 2 hours, taking a couple of drops, 9 times out of 10, I wake up and I have no symptoms. And the other way too, of course, is topically. So I tend to put that on my feet, but if you've got swollen glands, I will definitely use the fractionated coconut oil with that, and I'll even put it around my glands as well. Fantastic for cleaning. Unbelievable as a surface cleaner as well. There's a whole On Guard cleaning, range that is absolutely brilliant, from washing liquid to hand wash as well. The digestive blend. This is one that my daughter said it's not probably the most popular, but for her it's probably been the most well used for her, and it just can have immediate success. So it's got the thing that you will smell immediately is the aniseed, the fennel. It's also got peppermint and other oils. It's very, very calming, and so good for traveling. I've got friends overseas, and it's something that when you're in different country, and you're having different spices and all of that, that can be really good. But for anything from reflux to, yeah, any issues you have with digestive, this one you can have internally, but most of what I just find, just massaging it in a clockwise direction around my tummy can be enough to help me work through anything that hasn't gone down the right way. And it's really, really refreshing as well. Sometimes I make it as a warm tea. The athletic blend, known as Ice Blue, this is incredible as a topical blend. This is all you need to use it for. It's got one of the child protective lids on, and really great to use before and after exercise. I think especially in the colder months, people can start exercising and haven't warmed up their muscles, and this is really fantastic. It's one of the oils in the Aroma Touch. I just got a deep tissue massage, first one in decades, a couple of weeks ago, and she uses the Ice Blue, Chrissy Edwards, and it was amazing. It was so incredible. So I always get incredible relief from that. It's very cooling. It's a really interesting one because it's got wintergreen and peppermint. It's got a cooling and warming effect at the same time. But people have had incredible success with this, from issues with fibromyalgia, inflammation, and just needing to put it on before they stretch their muscles. So we're going to go a couple. The ones I've just talked about, they're in the Home Essential Kit, but we want to talk about a few that are in probably the most popular kit, which is Nature's Solution. And these two oils are ones that I always have in my bag, and they're in a really easy roll-on. So that makes it very easy to know what to do, how to use them. The Clary Calm, I think we've got the wrong thing for this. Darren will note for next time. But this is basically a hormonal blend. So it's fantastic for us women for any time of the month. But if you are feeling particularly emotionally sensitive or you do have pain, this is fantastic. And you can combine it, especially with pain, with the Ice Blue as well. You can put the Ice Blue on maybe on your lower back if you have pain, and Clary Calm just below your navel. I have found this to be amazing. Combined with drinking the citrus oils, this has had long-term endocrine stability for me. Past tense is basically for any tension you have. It's got the peppermint wintergreen combined. So, I've used this for people who do go for Nurofen, do go for the pharmaceuticals. And just because they had me, I gave them, basically, I said, try this. And if you let me know what it is out of 10 right now, and we're going to give it 10 minutes, I'm going to reapply after 5. And if you hasn't gone down, take the Nurofen. And in every case, it's kind of gone from a 10 down, an 8 or 9. Going into migraine, I've got it down to a 3, just at the point it's been coming on. And within half an hour, it's gone. So it can be really good. I love using this if I'm on a car. I've just done lots of driving on the weekend, and I use this to kind of really get me focused and kind of wake up as well. But really, really fantastic to have that one. So this is amazing. This is just a great little bit of information that I had no idea that this was the #1 sold in doTERRA. I mean, when someone asked me what they thought it was, of course I picked oils like lavender and peppermint and lemon and maybe Ice Blue. But the actual supplements, we are living a supplement revolution. And my background's been in the health industry and in naturopathic, and to be quite honest, knowing a lot of the supplements on the shelves, I was a little bit cynical about what the quality would be like. But this is quite incredible. It's only available, you can buy it to come on board, but to be part of getting the Lifelong Vitality Pack, you can get it as a loyalty rewards member, buying every month. But there's 3 products, and I just want to go through them very, very briefly. But you've got about $300 and something worth of ingredients in this. And I've spoken to a few naturopaths, and one of the big issues with supplements, they either make the quantities too high or too little. So they're either oversaturating and your body can't process it and absorb it, or you're just weeing it out of your system. So the feedback I've got from people who know far more than I do is they've said that they've really got the quantities right. The first one, which is the Microplex, is basically getting into providing essential vitamins and minerals. Look, I do most of the time try and eat organic. I know for myself when I'm using these, I feel better because it doesn't matter how well we're eating. We're living in very, very poor soil nutrients and things like magnesium. There's so many nutrients we're just not getting a lot of. And one of the biggest things that can reduce absorption of good nutrients in the body is stress. So the more we can be putting the good stuff into our gut, the more our gut can then be able to process things like serotonin, which give us the feelings of well-being. So many issues around depression and issues like that, we always go back to the gut. If we can get the gut happy, then we're going to be happy people. So very, very, very important. Great source of antioxidants. And then we go on to the alpha, CRS. And this is a digestive enzyme. It helps support liver function and provides antioxidants to help protect cells against oxidative damage. I think that's a lot of words, but basically one of the biggest things we can do, and that's why frankincense is such an amazingly powerful oil, is the more we can get out of thinking out of a crisis and the more we can get into preventative health, this is when we can go with this stuff. We're really working on how do we want to be in 5 years time, 10 years time, and bringing these into our daily. The Exio Omega is a sort of omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. The omegas support cardiovascular and cognitive health, and all great for all sorts of mental clarity, absorption of calcium and phosphorus for the development and maintenance of bones. If you are vegan or plant-based, it's okay. I am too. So I do actually buy this Lifelong Vitality Pack, and I'm happy to gift my omegas, but I generally do. There's a vegan formula, but at the moment it's only available through the States. So if you are a member and you're interested in that, just go to the person who connected you and they can show you how you can order it through there. I personally, if I'm feeling really well and I'm feeling I'm doing well, I tend to only have 2 of each in the morning. But for people who are going through a lot of stress or making big changes around their diet, or maybe not making the changes around their diet, then I recommend 2 twice a day of each. So for those who are, I'm not quite sure who's on, who hasn't got started. So I'm just going to briefly let you know. For those who are already a member, you can say, woohoo, I've already done this, so I can just relax and have a sip of my cuppa. Basically, it's really easy. You just need to choose a kit or oils you like to get started with. So there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can pay $35 to open up a wholesale account, and basically you get all the oils at wholesale. The most economical way is to have a look at the kits that doTERRA has already made up, because then you don't pay the $35 and they have actually put them collectively together. So in some cases, you're saving hundreds of dollars buying it as a collection rather than if you bought them all individually. There's an option to join the monthly rewards program, which makes the Woolies and Costco look like a sham compared to how generous doTERRA is. It is amazing the amount of free oils I get every month, and I get really excited about free stuff. One of the things we'll go into after is just more what I got out of the loyalty system, in regard to my own self-care and well-being by looking at it every month. You do get, because you're joining, connecting through us, you get things like this, but we also have an online community. We do workshops depending on where you are. It's all about being part of a really connected community, but we're also very much about one-on-one guidance and mentoring you through it. So we really love to go through after you've got the kit. Basically, as soon as you've got it, we like to go through the protocol of how to use all the oils and really look at your own wellness goals. so we can really get a sense of where you want to go with the oils. And so we're there to say, you know, you've got this, and we can look at your goals in 90 days and set new ones. And then you've got an idea of what you need each month to keep you supported on that journey. So just a little bit about the loyalty. It's called the Loyalty Rewards Program. I have called it, for me, the Love and Respect Program, because that was a huge thing. I realised about 5 years ago, and my daughter was 9 at the time, but wasn't very big on self-care in this way. I would manage to find the money to buy anything for my daughter, also for my husband, but not for myself. But when I started to kind of look at getting things that I knew were for all our mutual well-being, there was such a joy from all of us to be able to get excited about getting the oils and expanding into the supplement range and the spa range. And there was just, and you know, for me, just the ease. I think we're all very time poor, and just the ease of being able to go onto my online shop and buy my skincare, my, you know, shampoo, conditioner, all the oils for our wellness, my citrus oils, and just know that it's being delivered to my door. I mean, that kind of stuff makes me very happy, because I don't like going to shopping centres. So what are the benefits besides those things? You get shipping reimbursed for every order, which is really exciting. So like, you pay $10 for shipping and you get that back in points, which is really just very, very generous. So when you basically start get your kit and you start ordering every month, every time you order, you get a certain percentage back in points to spend on getting oils for free. And that goes up in percentage. So by the end of 30 months, you're on 30%. So we have doTERRA dollars. In the US, it's like the US dollar, and doTERRA dollar is pretty much similar. But our doTERRA dollar here, we call it a point. It's, let's say you spend 100 points, which is about $130 to $150. You will get, at the end of 30 months, 30 points back to spend on anything. So every product has a point value. So you really start to see how it adds up. And I've got, I don't know, I have to have a look. I think I've got about nearly 300 points that I can just, that's roughly about $500 I've got sitting there just to go and spend on any oil. So for me, in the last year, I've never paid for skincare. I haven't paid for frankincense. I don't think I've paid for vetiver. So there's some things I get very excited about getting for free. So what is wonderful is that you can be on the Loyalty Rewards and just love the oils, absolutely love them, and it's just for your pure use. Or if you are kind of, which a lot of people do, they just accidentally start to share it because they're starting to get these amazing you know, just they're just starting, you're just starting to feel so well, and people are seeing it in you, that you just start sharing that. You can actually earn commissions too if you are on the monthly loyalty program. The really cool thing is, it's no big deal if you decide you don't want to be on it. I do like to set a 90-day goal for people so people can see the benefits. But if you decide to cancel, it's no problem. It's a phone call away. And what we just recommend is, if you've got lots of points in there, go shopping first. The 1 to 49 points basically maintains your percentage and the points that you've collected, but you can do less than 100. You can do between 50 and more. You'll get points from everything you order, and it always will increase your percentage in the first year. But once you're at 13 months, you're at 30% for life. So that makes it very, very, very easy going shopping. So very exciting. I think I can go back to the Zoom, and I think I'll be back. Yay. I love when a system works. So I hope you've got, I can see a lot of members here, but for those, is anyone new to the oils that they'd like to put their hand up? Is that you, Sandy? Yay. Would you like to go off mute? Have you worked out how? I know it can be. No, okay, well, I'll take you off. Hold on 2 seconds. There we go. Okay, so you should be
Is that,
unmuted.
can you hear me? Oh, good.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just new.
Great. So have you tried any oil spa?
No, but my niece came over the other day and she had a headache. So she put she put a drop on her hand, and then she put her thumb in the drop of peppermint, put it on the roof of her mouth, and then she rubbed in the rest of the oil in and inhaled it, like smelt it, and then put it on the back of her neck. Yeah. So that's how she worked it. Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic. Peppermint, as I said, there's so many uses. It comes in little beadlets as well. So I gave some to my daughter to take some to school as well, just to have a little mouth freshener and yeah. But did it help you?
No.
Yeah. Do you have any?
She said it was good. I've probably got a million. Do you have a weight loss one?
Yes. Well, yes. There's one. There's a metabolic one called Smart and Sassy.
Okay.
Which is a grapefruit and peppermint blend. Talking a lot about blend, but it's also a ginger and cinnamon in it. It's what I found for me. You can add it to your citrus protocol. What I found when I started drinking the citrus is it works on, as I mentioned, creating the alkalinity in our body. And when you create the alkalinity, your body starts to release toxins and that have been stored in our fatty tissue. So I'm not a big fan of like the weight loss revolution or whatever, because we tend to always go back to things because they haven't worked. For me, about creating sustainable change is I think the oils have worked amazingly, because just implementing, let's say, the citrus, and there's other oils and there's other things we can do. For me, that reduced sugar cravings. I found my metabolism, because I used to be up and down, so my blood sugar levels would drop and I'd get very cranky. But I just found they're much more even. So don't have the sugar cravings, but my mood and energy is so much higher. And I just find when you're in that space, Sandy, then I found my energy was emotionally feeling so much better that you start making better choices as well. But there's a lot of us here who've got different backgrounds, and one of the things that we all have been on, I think I'm looking at familiar faces here, but a lot of us have been on, is doing a gut cleanse, because it's getting the gut happy. So doing that, we do a 30-day doTERRA gut cleanse, which is basically helping clear out parasites, yeast infections, putting the right probiotics in, so your body's on an even foundation, a good foundation. And then what I love about the oils, they're working on an emotional foundation, because we can physically, what I found for people we can physically lose the weight and still not love ourselves. We can physically there's plastic surgery is one of the biggest, it's $1 billion industry. And women are doing it at 18 and 20, but it doesn't change the level of anxiety and depression they feel about how they feel inside. So that's what I love about the oils. They go much deeper than just the surface. So they can deal with all the physical stuff we've talked about tonight. But as you're also taking it, you're working on the emotional stuff as well, that will create more long-lasting, sustainable.
So how do I do the gut cleanse? How do you do that then?
Well, I tell you what, that's probably another class. And we do that. And the last time Darian set up an amazing community, we guide you to what you need to get, how to do the shop, because a lot of the things are from the US. So when you become a member, 90% of the stuff is available in Australia, but there's just a few things that haven't come through our TGA yet. So we just help you do a US order. and when you're ready, if it's if we it would be good for us all to do one before the end of the year. I ideally
Sorry,
think,
Claire, I'm working with Sandy, so I'll be able to help her. I'll be able to help her.
I'll that's one question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be
Yeah,
great.
so I'll work with
thanks.
you, Sandy, and we can get all the stuff you need for it, and I'll do it with you, even.
All right, sweet. Thanks.
Well, I'm doing it. I don't know if it's too soon, but I'm doing it in September. So because I'm going overseas in October, and I thought it'd be a really good idea for me to do a gut cleanse. And September is an awesome time to do a spring clean. There's a good thing to do outer and inner. So for me, I'll be using like the On Guard and wiping getting all the mold out of our outer lives. But also when we're doing it internally, we're killing all the mold and fungus and all the other little things that are creeping along. So we can go into, especially the hot summers, with
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it's really, and the wonderful thing is it's very, very supportive. So we're with you when on the day you may be feeling a little bit average or something, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So,
Yeah. When you said, there was a word you used. Is it like taken in internally?
yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember the word you said.
Tricky, nor can I.
No.
What was it in regard? Do you remember?
No, it was just a word that you used. I wasn't sure what it was. I didn't have a pen and paper to write it down. Yeah.
Well, I'll go through it with you, Sandy, and we can talk about it and we'll find what you need.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
No worries.
So Jen will show you the kits, but basically there are very popular kits that you can look at, but Jen will show you it's really good to go through what your wellness goals are and then get something that's going to really work for you. So yeah, that's fine. Has anyone got any other questions? So out of what I mentioned, I'm going to ask Trudy, what would be your probably most used oil out of the ones we talked about tonight, including the Clary Calm and Past Tense?
Yes. Well, I've started using Clary Calm for my 7-year-old on the back of her spine and neck to help her with sleep. She's a littlie, but I'm finding success with that. And I've actually got a really renewed love for the Long Life Vitality kit.
Yes.
Just doing a workshop last month on it and finding out amazing things about it. So
yeah.
I just think everyone should give it a go. And the fact they're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee, I think says a lot too, as well as it being the doTERRA's biggest seller. I just think there's so much going for it that I think it's recommended for everyone.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Yeah, no, I forgot to mention that. That's kind of mind blowing, isn't it? That out of a sponge, that they would give a money back guarantee on it. Yeah, it's incredible.
They're my highlights.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Look, I've now got to the point where I realise I don't want to run out of Lifelong Vitality again to make myself feel what it's like not to have it. The other that we get from the States, if you're doing an order from the States, is the bone nutrient. We don't talk about that enough, but it's magnesium, calcium. It is so inexpensive. So when I get it from the States, I buy 2 or 3. So I've just got it there because I don't order from the States very often. But for me, when I don't have it, my level of sleep, quality of sleep, and my general nerves are more frayed when I'm not on it. My sleep just goes up, I'd say about 60% improved when I'm on the magnesium. So, and I've tried lots of different types, but that absorbs so well in the body. So add that too if you're getting something from the States for your gut cleanse,
You know,
Sandy.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm using it too, and I agree, Claire. My sleep has. I've just got to get my dog to sleep. I give it
Your
to my
dog?
dog to make me to go outside for
I
a week
hear
twice
you.
a night. But I've noticed my sleep has
Oh.
improved as well. Yes.
Can I just jump
Yes.
in
Oh,
quickly?
yeah. Arian.
Yeah, just on the just before we wrap up on the LLV, the Lifelong Vitality, that if people are new members this month and they place a 100 or more PV loyalty rewards order next month, they actually get the Lifelong Vitality supplements for free. So that's a special that's going on right now. So that's absolutely fantastic. I think I'm not too sure how much it is in total. It's over $150 or something, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, if you bought
Yeah.
retail, which you can, that they sell at retail now, yeah, it's over $150.
Yeah.
So it is such a good thing. So Sandy, that would be awesome for you for, like, I think the journey you're going to be on
Yeah.
is, yeah, you can just kind of decide what kit you want to go through this month. We can get an order put in for next month, and you can start the Long Life Vitality after that.
Sounds
Get
good.
Nature's Solution, it's in it, which is great, and then you'll have the next supply. I would personally do the full 2 of each twice a day. Personally, I'll just say with the second one you have, I don't have it too late in the evening because I found it started to give me too much energy. So it's nice having it about late afternoon,
Okay.
I find.
All right.
But yeah, thank you, Darren. It's an amazing offer, so that will be ending this month. So just the last thing I just wanted to quickly add, and then Jen, if you want to say something, is we have and this isn't starting till September, but we've got a Spoil Yourself, which is education where people get samples of oils, and we have different women each day talking about a different oil, and we do posts. So one day is all about lemon, and we educate you all on that oil. But and we send out little samples. But if you're already a member, like Sandy, it would be a great thing because you can just come in on it, and it'll be great for you to learn because I'm sure those oils will be in your collection, the one at. But if you do know anyone who's into, you think, look, this would just be a great way for them to connect to the oils. As you can see with this, it's great doing Zoom, but imagine doing this. Everyone's got the oil that we're talking about. So it's a really, and also the great thing about when we do the online week is it's a private group, so you can just tune in at any time to watch it. You don't have to be on at any particular time. It's just when it's free time for you. And we give away beautiful oils every day. And it's just a really nice way to get a holistic look at the oils that we're looking at, but also you get a look at the community that you can be part of. But it's a great way to introduce. So if you know of anyone, let who introduce you know, because especially if you're new, we can help get sample packs made and send it out. So that's starting September, Monday, September 10th. So
Okay.
Covered everything. Is there anything else, Jen? Did you need to say anything? You're good? Okay. Darren, have I missed anything? We're all good? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for those who came on that I can't see, Kim and Rob. I'd like to say you look lovely all in your white head and body. And I think everyone else, I think we thank you for thank everyone for coming on. We've got a recording of this, so we'll let you know if you do want it, how we'll post it on the Life Essentials as well. Okay. Well, thanks very much for coming on. And
Thank you.
just to let you know, on the first week of September, we're doing a Nature Solutions class, and then Life in the Calm Lane, and then this class is on the third one. So there's always a class for you to just come in and learn a bit more. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a lovely night. Sleep well.
Bye.